Hello student teachers, practice teachers, and future teachers. It's me again, your teacher Danny, bringing you education profession related tips and strategies that will help you reach your goal. In this video, we will share more about the licensure examination for teachers, specifically its general education coverage, and this is for both elementary and secondary degrees. Now, the Licensure Examination for Teachers, or LET, which is also known as the Board Examination for Teachers, is one of the most numbered examinees in all the examinations conducted by the Philippine Regulation Commission, or PRC. This is usually conducted twice a year, but due to the pandemic, there have been adjustments and there were new regulations implemented. Now, to get to know more about news and details, you may proceed to the official website of the PRC. Now, in order to become a teacher, you should first finish your bachelor's degree and pass the licensure examination for teachers. Right then, you are now entitled to write LPT or Licensed Professional Teacher as a suffix of your name. But the biggest question for you probably is, how can you pass the licensure examination for teachers? Now please stand by to get to know more of this. Hi, I'm Teacher Johnny and welcome to my vlog. So again, how can we pass the licensure examination for teachers? Now, according to the PRC guidelines, to pass the exam, each examinee must have an average rating of at least 75% and must not get a score below 50% on any of the tests. Now, for elementary level, the examination covers 40% of topics from general education or Gen Ed and 60% of topics from professional examination or Prof Ed. While for the secondary level, the exam covers 20% of the Gen Ed, 40% of the Prof Ed, and 40% from your area of specialization or your majors. Now, maybe you have heard a lot of questions about the Gen Ed part, like the following: if the exam is really that difficult, and bakit maraming bumabagsak sa Gen Ed, particularly the elementary takers? And for math lovers out there, gaano karami nga ba ang math sa LET? At kung may mga tanong sa world history, and meron din mga tanong kung kasali nga ba ang computer subjects sa exam, at ilang mga Republic Acts ang lumalabas sa licensure examination for teachers. Now, since our topic today will center on general education, perhaps we could guide you on this. As we say, passing is not that easy without knowing the LET coverage. So let's take a look at the exam coverage and how many items would or should we answer on particular competencies. So let's start first with English, which is 20% of the test. Well, you can multiply this by 1.5 if the total number of the items is 150, or multiply the 20% with 2 if the total is 200%. So you would know how many competencies would be, or how many items would appear on the exam. For the English subject, this is 20% divided into 5 parts. Now, the 6% of this is more on English 1, the study and thinking skill, basically on the use of language appropriately and correctly, and to comprehend written text. And then 5% will be on the writing and the discipline, and this uses accurate, meaningful, and appropriate language in written course. 3% of this will be speech and oral communication, and this is on the use of accurate, meaningful, and appropriate language in oral discourse. Well, 4% is about the Philippine literature, which competencies is to apply knowledge gained from local literary pieces, manifest comprehension to extract elements in major literary genre, relate insights to given situation. So as you can see, the third has a greater percentage as compared to the first two competencies, while the fifth topic has 2%, which talks more about the masterworks of the world. While the Filipino subject covers 15% of the whole exam, again, you may multiply that with 1.5 or 2 based on the total number of items. 6% of this will be komunikasyon sa akademikong Filipino. At ang competency nito ay kung nagagamit ng may lalong matatas na antas ng kasanayan at kahusayan ang Filipino sa akademikong larangan. 5% ay patungkol sa pagbasa at pagsulat tungo sa pananaliksik. At 4% ay ang masining na pagpapahayag kung nagagamit ng may husay ang Filipino sa pagbuo ng sulating pananaliksik at nagagamit ang angkop na repertual ng wika sa pagpapahayag ng kaalaman, karanasan at saloobin. Ito lamang ang competency natin sa Filipino. Muli, 15%, 6, 5, and 4. Dumako naman tayo sa math na may 20% ng ating coverage. Ang math ay nahati sa 4 na parte. Una na dito ay ang fundamentals of mathematics na may 7%. And this covers the 4 fundamental operations in problem solving. That's 4%. And then measurement and unit of measure. That's 2%. And then metric system or conversion using the metric system will be 1%. And then part 2 will be the plane geometry. Here you will show mastery of basic terms and concepts in plane geometry to solve problems involving basic math terms and concepts in plane geometry. And then the third will be 3%, which is elementary algebra. And then the last part of the mathematics will be statistics and probability, which is 3%. Now, 20% of the Gen Ed exam is science. And it covers 2 topics, which is the biological science or the general biology, the physical science or the earth science. But, as you can see, the competencies are more centering on the skills in science, particularly 3%, to identify the traits, the scientific traits, and attitude exhibited in various situations. So, it will be a situation-like structure. And 5% will be on the use of scientific inquiry in investigating events and different phenomena. So there would be situated questions on your exam. Then 5% will be on the use of knowledge to explain the natural phenomena. And 4%, which is on the advantages and disadvantages of the solution to a particular problem. And 3% will be on the impact of technology on living and non-living things. So again, that's for science. Alright, now aside from English, Filipino, and mathematics, we also have social sciences, which contributes 20% of the exam. Alright, now ilan nga ba ang about sa Philippine Government New Constitution with human rights? That's 3%. So here, you will demonstrate understanding of the various forms of government from the barangay to the present system. Then you will explain the nature and provisions of the present constitution, its advantages and disadvantages over the others in the past, and its function as fundamental law of the state. And then the Philippine history will be 4%. Here, there are questions that will trace the history of the Philippines from pre-colonial to contemporary periods. And you will draw the implication of the historical evolution of the Philippines to its present socio-political conditions. There were also questions. 3% of the question will be on economics, taxation, land reform, and cooperative. And then 2% will be on the society and culture with family planning. So particularly, there will be questions that would be an application to the basic concepts on family planning, the theories, and the perspectives. And there are also cultural elements regarding Filipino. And then 2% will be the life and works of Rizal and other heroes. And 1% of this will be on the evaluation of their contribution to the development of our country. And 2% of this will be the philosophy, the nature of Filipino, the Filipino society, the emerging Filipino philosophy, and how this manifests critical and analytical attitude towards specific issues and problems in daily life. 2% will be art appreciation and humanities. So there are questions demonstrating understanding of the totality of human experience by formulating a human perspective that integrates all areas of knowledge. A manifest appreciation of arts as a result of an integrated and holistic view of life. And 2% will be on the psychology part, which applies basic concepts and theories of human behavior. Now, aside from this, there are still questions if there are information communication technology. Well, to answer that, yes, and that is 5% of the exam. Now, what are the questions that are related to information technology? And that is 1, manifest mastery on the fundamental concept, principles, and operation of ICT, and identify varied and appropriate use of technology, and analyze the effect and impact of ICT in the environment. Well, all of the information that I've shared to you came from BLEPT Journal, a publication of the Philippine Association for Teacher Education, Volume 15, Number 1, Table Specification, pages 1 to 5. So again, I am looking forward to you achieving the past score on the licensure examination for teachers, especially on the Gen Ed part. So you could now attach LPT as a suffix to your name. That's it. I am again Teacher Danny, wishing you all the best in your licensure examination. Bye-bye!